So Bitcoin has been successfully testing a very strong floor of support. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens today with major economic news that comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, with the trade fears kind of on the way out, they're not done. I know we have a pause and all these things, but we're back to macroeconomic pictures of liquidity and other economic conditions. So with that, remember, every single day in crypto is an adventure. So make sure to be a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button now. And if you find any value in what I say today, make sure to hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. So with that, let's get into talking about Bitcoin and where we are right now to see what's potential for today. Now, this is an ugly chart. I mean, it's really pretty chart, but I'm saying I got a lot of lines on here. So bear with me. So we've got, I drew the Fibonacci and I took from, the highs down to the swing low. And, we're testing this 786 Fibonacci right now. We're testing it. It's bounced off. It wicked below, but it didn't close below this line. And, it's not that we had major headwinds yesterday, but we had the stock market, just people pumping money into the stock market. So I'm sure some people sold their crypto to move it, took some profits, sold their crypto to move it into the equities market to, experience some of the gains there. Pretty standard. I mean, think about the bond market. The bond market pulled back yesterday because of there's not recessionary fears, so typically flight to quality, people sell their more risky assets to less risky assets. A bond is considered a less risky asset because it's a fixed income instrument. And so yesterday when the money flew out of it, it didn't fly out, but it left crypto. It went into the equities market. It left bonds. It went into the equities market. And so we're starting to get back to more of a normal, movement or rotation of capital. And yesterday, Bitcoin did test again. It wicked down, but it came back up above this floor of support. So it's maintaining its very strong floor of support. And if you look what happened the last couple movements up, we had lots of testing before it shot up. We're going to have more testing because it tests at the lower level of the range. So here's the 5.0 Fibonacci 3.8. So it tests at the lower level of the range, then shoots up. Lower level, shoots up. Lower level. Now, will we have a move to the upside or move to the downside? One of the big indicators today is going to be the consumer data, the PPI. Is it PPI today? Let's take a look. On the economic calendar, we have CPI, Consumer Price Index, core CPI, and core year over year. We're expecting a 2.4%. Now, if it comes in at 2.5%, that's going to be really bad, I believe. But, things throw me off these days. If we come in lower than expected, that's going to be good for a potential Fed rate cut. If we come in higher than expected, Fed's going to be like, why would we lower the rates if inflation's going up? So it's going to be very interesting. This data comes out in about 45 minutes. I know I'm a little bit premature. I have some appointments this afternoon, all day pretty much. And initial jobless claims, that comes out Thursday. Again, if there's more people making jobless claims, then that bodes well for liquidity pump by the Fed. If less people make jobless claims, in other words, go on unemployment or looking for jobs or make jobless claims, if more people are jobless, that's good for a Fed pump. If less people are jobless, it's bad for a Fed pump. And I know we're talking to people's livelihoods here, but it's going to happen whether I talk about it or not. So it's just an economic data point. PPI, also important, producer price index. And if you think about the tariffs and what effect they had, people don't realize that tariffs aren't necessarily, it's generally accepted that tariffs cause inflation to some degree, but it's also accepted there's some degree that they reduce inflation. But neither here nor there, we are where we are. Tariffs are hopefully getting sorted, and with that, it'll be a new economic condition we all deal with. I look at the Trueflation. This is, a great website that talks about the actual current inflation index. And as you see here, it's saying that U.S. inflation index is at 1.68. It's come down significantly since February. Significantly. You look at UK's inflation, it's pretty stagnant, but it's also come down since February. Argentina, it was crazy. 284% is down to 40%. That is crazy. India, they stack it. So they have a stronger monetary policy. And it's come down as well. So the whole world, inflation is coming down. that means that, they're worried about a slowdown in the economy. Well, the governments are probably worried about a slowdown in the economy as inflation comes down. So money will pump. Price of oil has gone up a bit. It's up to 62. It was down at 57. But look, it's come down like, 20, 30% since its highs back in, its recent swing high in July of last year. Almost a year ago, it's come down 30%. The majority of that since January. Look, January 10th to now is, about 20%. That one's not working. M2 money supply keeps rising. We're almost to the highs of COVID. I mean, look, we had 21,749. We're at 21,762. So we've eclipsed and surpassed the highs as a result from COVID of M2 money supply. That means a lot of money is sitting on the sidelines, waiting to pump into markets when they feel comfortable. So cash is king. And so when they feel comfortable with the way things are going, people will take that cash, typically, not all of it, and pump it back into markets. And then, so again, the final, inflation reading, it's not really an inflation reading, but the Fed, it doesn't look like June they're going to cut. I thought it was all but guaranteed. I was wrong. At this point, it's only it's a 91% chance they're not going to cut the rates. Now, that could change quickly as we get really low inflation data. That could change quickly with increased jobless data or decreased new job starts, things like that. So what am I saying? Why am I saying all this? Is because, Bitcoin had a pullback. People are talking about, is it going to pull back? Are we going to go test some other, we're going to test this $96,000 mark for the 618 Fibonacci, or let's go down to the 92, or could it go all the way back down to 74? I don't think that's on the table. With all the institutional adoption, with all of the talk of Bitcoin strategic reserves as companies, there's over 70 companies stockpiling crypto right now, or at least Bitcoin. There's MicroStrategy and other companies, MetaPlanet, and there's other companies being started daily. Now, that's a concern. I do worry that if all these companies buy up the Bitcoin, what value will it hold if people can't buy it and store it themselves, if it's only a couple companies that have it? I'll get more into that in a future show, but it's like, there's 21 million Bitcoin. If countries and companies have it and they store it and stockpile and don't move it, the price is once they accumulate, it's going to be whoever has to go bankrupt and the other companies are going to buy their Bitcoin. But, it is something to think about. That is the value going to hold, and why would it hold if only a few holders hold it? I don't know. But that being said, there's still lots of opportunity. I still believe it is a very strong asset that you will want to accumulate and hold on to. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor, so don't take it as such. With that being said, that's pretty much all I got. So we'll watch those inflation data very carefully. Watch the jobless data this week, the PPI data. Those are inflationary fears, recessionary fears. Well, they're starting to waver, the recession and inflationary fears, which would make the Fed real comfortable to cut, and more liquidity in this market is good. But we've also proven we don't necessarily need more liquidity, we need more confidence. And I think that's where we're going towards. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Let me know what you thought of today's show. Put a comment down below. And with that, I'll see you next time.